Hi everyone, hope you're doing okay. Today I'm going to talk about something that I believe has just been addressed in another channel. Uh, so it's not going to be anything new to you, but it's my perspective and my experience, so it's likely to be somewhat different. So stay tuned. So the subject at hand was loaning or gifting, or neither. And it can be a controversial subject. As I mentioned, another channel was talking about this recently, and I had written an impromptu blanket statement by way of comment that in and of itself could be considered both inaccurate and offensive. I had reflected on my past experience in a somewhat isolated and specific location, but I didn't qualify my comment as such. But even if my comment was factually correct, I believe it was inappropriate to mention online. It was removed, and I sincerely apologize to the channel for the incident happening in the first place. So you mean I actually have time to watch other channels? No, not really. But I have in the past checked here and there so as not to be conflicting or overlapping with the same content or similar content out of a matter of courtesy. But from here on out, I will not be checking other channels. I've decided to just run with content hopefully of interest as it comes to mind. After all, perspectives, experiences can vary greatly anyhow. I've digressed. Now back to the subject at hand. Should we loan, gift, or neither? What would you do? I think that individual discretion is necessary, as circumstances are different with both the expat and the petitioner. I know that there's a misconception that all expats are wealthy. Well, not necessarily so. There's some of us that are we have adequate finances. Some of us have already, since we've been here, given a lifetime of gifts, and perhaps we are at a point where we have to be super careful, and so we can't be liberal anymore. While there are others who money's no object, and still others who cannot afford to consider this matter at all. So the circumstances are definitely different both ways. Now, usually it's a family member of your wife or girlfriend that will be the claimant or petitioner. You'll find that some families won't ask for help at all, even though it is very apparent that they have specific needs. But they won't ask, out of respect, out of as a matter of courtesy or self-pride. You name it. But it's those that I have most been inclined to help. As I've indicated, families' needs are different, situations are different, and of course expectations can vary also. In other words, one shoe won't fit all, so to speak. But if you do begin to loan, be prepared that the requests will not stop, whether or not they are paid up on existing loans from you. That's been my experience. Now, how about some positives? I've had individuals pay me back quickly, within a couple of weeks. Another case, upon request, I've given a worker substantial advances upon occasion. Of course, I don't advise that, but this particular worker was extremely punctual, consistent on the job site, and I showed my appreciation by obliging him with the loans. And it didn't affect his work ethic at all. He didn't miss a day. The quality of his work continues, so there is no issue there. How about some negatives now, unfortunately? There are with gifting or with loaning. But I've also made loans where there was little or no effort in repayment. And speaking of the latter, one of them would totally ignore me at all cost, even though I had never approached the individual for repayment. In my mind, loaning does nothing to nurture a closer relationship with the family. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, more often than not, a distance or a strain has just been created with family members. You may also notice the amount borrowed doesn't go for the purposes for which it was initially intended. You may also see the loan money being spent for things, unnecessary things, while a week or so later the kids have nothing to eat. So it's been a cause to wonder for me about the wisdom used or lack thereof, or in how the money was spent, or is it an issue of mismanagement, whatever you want to call it, that happens. Of course, this same thing is found in any society, and let's face it, in the United States. What about all the healthy people that can actually work and they're thriving off of food stamps and Medicaid, etc., etc. So I'm not isolating it to the Philippines. Of course, in the USA, they're sponging off the government, who is doesn't seem to have any control whatsoever, in my opinion. So in short, I've stopped loaning, period. To the petitioner, I simply say, sorry, it's not in my budget. And that works for me. However, I have since just given, voluntarily, of course, when I see a real and a legitimate need. And it's not usually cash. I caution monthly cash allowances because in my mind it quickly creates a situation of dependency, as like how I've reflected above. Well, these are my thoughts, and I'd be very interested to hear yours. So feel free to leave comments. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Bye now.